Yep. Back in it. Back in the saddle. Don't worry, folks. Don't worry. They're back in the saddles. Yeah. Getting interesting out there, kids. We got one person. It's kind of funny, right? And I'll say this, least of all, that had a good conversation on BGS Live. You know, a lot of people had some smart ass things to say. And I think it's incredible. I think it's incredible because a lot of dudes don't understand what, excuse me, let me back that up for a second. A lot of women don't understand what men want, and men don't understand how women are. And that's usually the fundamental issues going into these things. You're probably like, Charles, what you mean by that? Everything. Every fucking thing. And it's simple, really, when you think about it. How many how many times do you see a lady in a relationship and the first thing she's asking about, I want a guy that communicates, but she physically does not like that type of guy. They're always taught get a guy who's sensitive, but they're fucking allergic to those guys. Hmm. Just like you had guys on BGS's show. What's so important? Since y'all saying that we don't need, first and foremost, the guy didn't say you don't need nuclear families. He just said that they are not the oldest. They're not natural. You need kids raised in an urban environment by a two parent household. That's optimal. You don't have what they call a clan system in the urban environment. You just don't. It's not going to be conducive for raising children. And like we also discussed, raising those children in an urban environment where there's a lot of stimuli, there's a lot of stuff to get into compared to the rural South or the countryside, you're going to need a dedicated mother and father system. What happens is you have a culture of men and women who do not understand being married. A lot of young men are raised with this idyllic sense of marriage. They don't understand you. A lot of these women look at, like I said earlier, they look at marriage as a burden. They don't care what you want. They don't care what you have. And the only time they even have half a thought about you is when they can extract resources. Think about that. You're right. Marriage is a duty. Marriage is a duty. What happens when you raise people into no sense of honor and no sense of duty? You're seeing all that now. You're seeing people raised on the fringes of do what you want, regardless of how it's going to affect your children, your country, your community, even yourself. So to look, what's up, Bitter? What's up, Lewis? And there was a question. Would I tell my son to get married? No, no. It's a loser's gambit. Okay? It's like playing Russian roulette with a Glock and you got 13 to 15 shots. I really want you to think about that. We're not talking about a revolver with a cylinder and one bullet. We're talking about a whole magazine and a semi automatic gun. It's almost no way for you to win. I challenge any man today to say, how is marriage benefiting men? There are so many men that I know who are married, and it's just rotting them, it's destroying them. I mean, yes, you have some good marriages out there, but there's an exception to the rule, never a rule to the exception. Why would I? Why would I give somebody bad advice? You know how many years, and this tells you how many years I've told people, to both men and women, give me a reason why young men should still get married and believe in the system. The same system that broken up your family, that made you look like an idiot. Tell me, why should we do it? Why? Convince me otherwise. I challenge anybody. But I'm going to talk about also the men as well. Here's the problem with a lot of the men. You don't understand women, female nature typically. When you're okay that you're being used as a carpenter uses a tool, it's a sombering moment. It's going to be okay. You're right. Society's crumbling. What about marriage? You can't convince somebody of how great something is when all you see are horror stories about it. It's impossible. And to thy own self be true. You'll have dudes say, well, what are y'all worried about? The women pick the father. See, here's the problem. Women will lie to you. They will tell you that I'm a doting wife, and they like compromised men. They like tragic men. And why? Easy to control, easy to convey. But constantly, you got so many men who see the evidence pointed out in front of them will ask the same stupid ass questions. Look, young man, you're logical by nature. We just had a guy who's 25, been with his girl for 3 years, didn't even propose. There's a reason why you didn't. It's a clear reason why. It's a clear reason why. See, I've always prided myself off of being logical. And sometimes you can't convince the people until they get destroyed by the system. I think there's some people who enjoy being destroyed by the system. That's the only way you'll learn. That's the only somber moment. I don't need to hear this. If you're not teaching your sons, hell no. Hell no. I'm sorry. Why would you tell your son, well, this is a good woman? How do you know? You should be asking the questions if your son can't bring you that damn woman and let her have a conversation with you one on one. And if you can't go with your sons and see how the other family is, the answer should be no. See, it's always the man has to settle down. And I'm gonna tell you what's really fucked up. I want you to come close. Come close to it. Closer. Closer. There you go. I want you to realize this. Why would I tell my kid to take a bad bet? Hmm? Why would I convince my kid to take a really bad loss? Don't forget to hit the like button. Why would I? Why would I take that kid and tell him, you know what? You should just go for it. One of the worst things I heard a friend say when he was going to get married. And I asked him, are you sure? Are you fucking sure? You know what was said? You know what was said? Might as well anyway. Might as well anyway. Got him paying for a $20,000 wedding, only together for a year and a half, 2 years, and was separated for three. And it gives me an example that men don't understand how women are. If you go anywhere for marriage counseling, your counseling session takes 30 minutes, hers takes 2 hours. That should be an automatic no. Sorry, sorry, sorry. What's up, everybody? Lee Ollie, D Rock Den, Mel. How many women will talk about, well, I was being a wife and all this other stuff. Why are you leaving your husband? Well, they don't listen to me. But these are the same people who would cheat on their husband with a man or a woman and then complain, well, that guy didn't listen to me. You know what? Why didn't that man leave you? You don't understand what he wants. Guess what? Sometimes you got to suck it the fuck up, buttercup. But you want your freedom, but you're doing worse. without your freedom. Well, we could just be around and stay together. No, no, no. There's too many of you out there sucking oxygen from your own lives, dealing with a woman who does not respect you, who does not understand you, who doesn't give a damn. But you ultimately are playing the biggest fool. What's up, baby? You are ultimately playing the biggest fool. And the biggest fool is this. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, baby, because I'm going to talk about this. You know why Brittany Renner had a complete meltdown? Is because she knew she fucked up the bag. They always plotting, but then when the plot, what's up, Biggs? When the fucking plot does not work, Brittany Renner literally had a 1%, a 0.1% man, and fucked it all up. But she can't. And see, this is the one thing I want to hear women say when they get out of a relationship and get out of a marriage. I fucked up. You know what it always is? It's the man's fault. How? He was everything you wanted. You thought that you could just waltz on by, mommy this nigga to death. You thought you could have it all. You thought that you could get a man like that and not sacrifice. The part that's PJ's fault, PJ didn't understand women. PJ didn't understand the type of woman he was getting with. PJ was getting advice from his father, his teammates. Don't take that fucking woman seriously. But what do hard heads make? A very soft ass. And he's lucky he came out there actually half decent. You're right. You're right. He ignored us. And see, this is the part when I talk about the hard-headed ass nigga. The hard-headed ass nigga. Trust me, I played the role of the hard-headed ass nigga myself. I could talk on this all fucking day. Older men tell you not to mess with that chick. Oh, she's not that way. And then bam. Bam. Too many of you Negroes don't understand female behavior. Too many of you women don't understand what men want in wives. Not even, hell, y'all don't even understand what a man wants in a girlfriend. Anytime you treat marriage like a goddamn Barbie accessory, that says a lot. That says a lot. That says a lot. Let's listen in on Brittany Renner lose her fucking mind and have this meltdown. Let's listen to this shit. Give me some woos in the chat if you're ready. What's up, Salt A Balls?
How does that make you feel as a woman knowing that's your baby father? What is your first view on that?
Honestly, I want my child's father to win.
Exactly.
It's just what it is. And regardless of what of what people say. I believe he deserves whatever he feels he's worthy of. So, whatever that contract looks like, that's what it looks like. And I didn't have a
Shout out to Salty Balls for the 20 hit.
You know, I had a second degree tear. You know what that looks like?
I'm gonna say
Hello?
no. I'm gonna say no for all of us.
Is anybody fucking listening?
Say no.
Hello? A second degree tear. You know what that looks like?
I mean, that boy was that big when you had it.
He was, I think it was 8.1.5.
That means she had a big baby.
Almost 9 pounds, right?
Another NBA player.
Does that matter to you? Does that matter to you? Who had such a motherfucking opinion about me?
Wait,
Does that matter?
Grew.
Hold on.
Opinion changed, but
Hold on. Answer the motherfucking question.
No, it didn't initially. No, hell.
Okay.
I'm gonna pause it right there. Does that sound like a sane woman to you? Does that sound like somebody pleasurable to you? I want you to realize this. There's a lot of broken women out there, man. And there's nobody who they can blame but themselves. See, this is the reason why we call him St. Kevin. Shout out to Obsidian for saying that. Kevin Samuels actually tried to talk this girl off the ledge. And he was actually pretty successful for a minute. See, nobody ever talk about the Black Manosphere and say how much we talk people off the ledge. Yes, I got to tell you about yourself. You may have to go into those deep, ugly spots, but in order to fix you, you must confront those demons. You must confront what your past was. It's impossible to truly be healed without confronting the demon first. That's a bitter pill to say, I had a multi-million-dollar, $100 million man, and I'm the one who fucked up. I'm the one who fucked up. This is the one thing I respect any woman to say. I fucked my relationship up. Stop trying to, because one thing about men will take on a lot of fucking shit. Even if it's not their fault. Even if it's not their fault. Think about it. See, they don't show this shit when they talk about the independence of women. They don't show this part. They don't show how broken, how disgusted with the world and yourself. They don't show what happens. See, everybody talks about Lizzo, right? Oh, she's so beautiful. And only females say that. No guy ever says Lizzo's beautiful. But yet, it gets real when you say a female looks like Lizzo, and then you really know how they feel about Lizzo. Instead of ejaculating lies, but they don't want to show you how many times Lizzo had mental breakdowns on her Instagram lives. How many times she's crying about people don't like me. Maybe people will like you and it has nothing to do with your size. Maybe people don't like you because you're an obnoxious bitch. Your own background dancers hated your guts. And you called them fat, projecting. And I swear to God, modern women project so much, the bitch ought to be an IMAX. But you're going to get some super simp to say that I'm wrong about this shit. But you can clearly see this motherfucker have a meltdown. And you know what's fucked up? Back in the day, men and women had a society where we would help broken people. Now we just make Instagram clips and money off of people suffering. And you want to tell me we're doing better independent without families? Continuing.
Second degree tear. That means they sewed me up.
Yeah, okay.
Right. You know what that means? That means I love that motherfucker. My pussy was fucking split open for him.
Right.
You understand that? You lost 9 pounds.
Big boy.
Okay?
Gratefully, I had a 5-pound baby.
Good for you.
Yeah,
My baby was almost 9 pounds.
Big boy.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. All right?
No, I wanted to say that because I think it is important. A lot of people do.
What's important?
That you do wish well for. Most.
Here's the thing. Let me just tell you, you and every one of the motherfuckers that are commenting, she's doing too much. She at the end of the day, this pussy had a second degree tear. Do you know what that means?
You just taught us. Ripped.
What is it?
Ripped.
Thank you, Charleston.
Ripped open.
Ripped.
Wait a minute. Yeah, boy had a head like his daddy. Damn. Yeah. Well, yeah, boy had a head like his daddy.
All right.
Hold on.
So, a ripped fucking vagina. Hold on.
Say it again. For the people in the back.
Let me tell you something. 50 pounds. Do you hear what I'm saying?
That boy born 50 pounds? No, you gained.
I gained 50 pounds.
Oh, shit.
Charleston, 50 pounds. That's just somebody, I'm just, whatever. It's about money. Let me tell you something. I can't be bought.
Hello.
That's what all these people in the chat.
Pausing. See, here's the problem, right? I've said this before. Take pussy out the equation. Are you likable? You had a second degree tear by your confirmation. That means your walls are shot. I mean, your struts are fucked. If Donald Trump gets elected president again, he couldn't build walls for you. So your greatest advantage, which was your beauty and your sexuality, and you're about 30, so you're damn near aged out of anybody taking you seriously, and you couldn't land the big fish, which was PJ Washington. What does that say about you? You're over there kicking shit on the table, being vulgar, aggressive, and somebody's supposed to feel sorry for you, or somebody's supposed to see you as a goddamn wife. It's appalling. Continuing.
I can't seem to understand. They think I can be bought. They think that it's just about money. It's just whatever. It's the highest bidder. I believe in true love.
Hello. I heard her say that. But
I said it 100 fucking times.
Hey,
Hello?
hey, listen now. Listen.
Listen to what I fucking say. Shut the fuck up when a real bitch is talking.
Okay.
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Take the room.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm a real fucking bitch. You hear what I'm saying?
Talk.
And I care. And I'm a hopeful romantic. But I can't control. At the end of the day, I try to force something that wasn't mine. That wasn't my person. And that's okay. He's sitting over there motherfucking. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking. Shut up. Seriously, shut the fuck up when I'm talking. Because if you ever felt real love to where you have a motherfucking second degree tear, hello?
Wait. No. You didn't mean it.
Hello?
You didn't mean it. Shit.
Hello? You don't know what it's fucking like.
Shit.
I'm sorry.
Pause. For somebody who says, and you know what, folks? Just for y'all, I'm going to light this cigar, man, because there's some heavy shit, right? Believe it or not, I actually feel sorry for this dumb motherfucker. I actually do. Do me a favor, everybody in the chat. Put a glass of your favorite liquor in the chat and say woo. For a woman who says she can't be bought, she didn't mess with nobody but rich niggas. You know, I ain't calling her a gold digger, but I know that she ain't mess with no broke niggas. If you couldn't be bought, a bus driver, a police officer, a firefighter, a government worker would have done. Please hit the Cash App. Please hit the super. Well, I don't have super chats anymore. Thank you, YouTube. Hit the like button, especially. A like is free. You're throwing bottles at people. You're being belligerent. And we're supposed to feel sorry for you? Why? 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 Obviously, gone are the days of the Felicia Rashads. Gone are those days. Gone are those days. Continuing, folks.
I meant to hit this nigga.
Wrong guy.
Let me tell you something.
Wrong guy,
Shut the fuck up. This right here is about to go. Let me tell you something.
We good.
Shut up.
We
When I'm
good.
fucking talking. Yo, I'm sorry. I ain't gonna hit you. I meant to hit that nigga. Because you sitting over here laughing.
Chill. Relax.
I ain't chilling.
Relax.
Because at the end of the day, it ain't your pussy. Hey, listen. I hear you. Hey, listen, that's fine. But guess what? You protecting him is what it is. Is it not? Is it not? Is it not?
See, it's the wrong nigga,
Hey,
champ.
don't be sitting over there laughing. Let me tell you, I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to him right here. I ain't talking about then that ain't my shit then.
Champ, she cool, champ.
That ain't my shit.
Apologies.
And there's a reason why. Pause it. Number one, she just hit with a fucking bottle, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, Shannon the Cannon Briggs. That's why they call him champ, because that's his catchphrase. What's up, champ? Let's go, champ. See, you're attacking a former two-time heavyweight champ. Have you seen the size of Shannon Briggs? His fucking fists are the size of fucking lunchboxes. You can't make this shit up on how delusional of what women don't understand what men want. It's not just the men that you're trying to fuck, be in a relationship with, or marry. It's called respect. Why can't you respect me? Continuing.
Champ.
Bat me in my shit. Now, all right, this shit
Shannon
fucking.
Briggs right here. Trip it out. We're good.
Apologies, champ.
At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. You're talking about lady. I don't care. At the end of the day, nobody knows what I went through. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So nobody, you, him, whoever the fuck, you don't get to sit here and talk about shit. Ain't nobody drunk bitch about nothing.
Family.
What's up?
We family here.
What's up?
We family here.
What's up?
Champ. No,
I ain't talking about nothing.
We all right, champ. We
I
all
ain't
right,
talking
champ.
about nothing.
We family.
This is Charleston's people, not mine.
She all right,
It's
champ.
Charleston's
She all right,
people.
champ. No, we family.
He said you all right.
I'm a fucking security, bitch.
I don't give a fuck what you talking about.
Champ.
Baby in my shit then.
It's all good.
Baby in my shit then. Then shut the fuck up.
Chill. Let's
Yeah, but
relax.
hit your motherfucking buzzer, bitch.
All right, let's reset the room. Let's reset.
It is what it is.
Let's reset the room.
It is what it is.
Everybody cool, guys. Everybody cool.
It is what it is.
Pausing. Remember, her child is like what, 2, 3? This is somebody's mother. But yet, people in the manosphere are criticized for pointing this shit out. You don't see, I'll give credit to all my married homeboys. You don't see their wives acting like this. If they got an issue, you wouldn't know because they'll argue it in the goddamn house like civilized folks do. But PJ was supposed to marry that, right? PJ was supposed to look like that. This is the day of the Kiki Palmers, of the Brittany Renners. Men are supposed to settle for this shit. And you're going to try to assault a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, Shannon the Cannon Briggs. Are you fucking insane? Are you fucking insane? But yet, we'll hear black women are the most abused. Black women are the most attacked or the least protected. Bullshit. And you got to take this mulatto bitch too. Sorry, she black.
Family here, guys.
Shut the fuck up.
Family here, guys.
You don't like Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner, we fuck with her.
Who's got
Fuck
music
up.
playing? All right, let's relax. Let's reset the room for a second.
Nah, don't reset shit. The fuck we on?
We on the motherfucking dance project, baby.
Motherfucking Capricorn in the motherfucking building.
The bills.
Hey, let me tell you something. I don't care what you talking about, cause I really bad nigga in here shit. No, this is my touch up.
Good.
Listen, let me tell you something. Don't nobody can tell me shit about shit.
All
At the end of the day,
Chill,
Charleston,
Yes, ma'am.
this
Yes, ma'am.
the motherfucking real nigga right
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
All right.
And if I understand him,
Yes,
he
ma'am.
understand me, we wouldn't understand each other.
Damn that hand.
So what's up?
I'm just
Yeah,
happy.
I got a good grade.
Yeah, I see. Shit, you from. Yeah, see, I can tell you play sports.
Ma'am.
Mm.
I can tell you play sports.
Ma'am.
Yeah, I did.
I can tell.
Yeah, I did.
Shit.
Ma'am.
You gotta. Hey, what's up? What we
Shout
doing,
out to everybody.
Charleston?
I'm reading
Shout out
all
to
that shit on there. Shit, I done got
I don't
into
give
the
a fuck.
comments. Shit, I done got
Shut up, bitch. While real bitches talking.
All right, so let's reset. Get back to what we were talking
What are we
about.
talking about?
We're
Peace, love, health, and wealth.
a grade 2 tear, Charles, PJ, and everything that occurred, and you know that you do wish well for him of what everything that went.
I always do, cause you know what? I had a baby for him.
Hold on.
Do you know how many fucking views they're gonna get? This is only 10 hours ago and they got 68K views. That shit's gonna go viral. That shit's gonna go viral. You damn near started a ruckus with people on a set, including Shannon Briggs. You don't understand what men want. Men don't understand how women are. I'm serious. This is the Megan Thee Stallion drunk. A man goes to fucking jail and evidence proves that he was not the person shooting you, but a bitch who probably did shoot you gets immunity. But we're supposed to feel sorry for this hoe. Now, you probably see the reason why PJ went the fuck away from her. Now you see it. Now you see it. Now you fucking see it. But men are supposed to put up with this fucking belligerent bullshit. It's embarrassing, man. You know who I really feel sorry for is her child, man. I feel sorry for her child. I really do. But you got these simp enforcers who will say, Charles, a lot of women are not like that. Bullshit. Get a little drink in their asses. You think because you had a child by this nigga that you should be entitled? What the fuck? Like, what did you do that's special that other mothers haven't? Be damn glad to share. I know a chick who lost 4 babies. Actually 5 because one of them were a set of twins. Lived for 24 hours, died. Born stillborns. AB said at Charles Faulkner Jr. Now I see why everybody in PJ's life was saying stay away from her. What's up to the lovely Toya? Everybody's favorite grammar Nazi. Men are supposed to be at peace with that. Be a nigga's peace. What's up, Albert?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What the fuck was that?
It's already gone viral. That's the clip I could find. I didn't have anybody else's commentary on it. In fact, Valdez is talking about it right now.
I mean, this is what the fuck men, black men in particular, are supposed to be with. And believe it or not, I'm actually pro-marriage. But I'm even more pro not putting yourself in a bad position. What's up, Gregory?
Yeah, that's the baby mama that Dr. Pander African wants us to go take care of.
But see, I don't see Umar married.
Well,
See, this is the difference between the doers and the sayers.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to talk about an issue, either 2 things are going to happen. I'm either going to have a result or I'm going to have to destroy it. But look what happens, right? You had a chick who literally had it all.
Mm-hmm.
You had the looks, you had the body, you had men that average women couldn't even dream about.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't even fathom. Could not even have a comprehension of the type of fucking men you've been around. Your phone book is probably worth over 500 mil, maybe $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what you learn? Nothing made her happy. Giving birth to a healthy boy, getting those NBA genes. And people forget this shit on the internet is viral and it's forever. I don't give a fuck if people don't agree with what I'm saying. They don't like it. I dare somebody to prove me wrong. That's a broken fucking woman.
Mm-hmm. And actually, that's the censored version. Apparently, afterwards, she started twerking on somebody.
Yeah, Charleston.
That nigga.
I want you to think about that. You're a mother of a toddler. You couldn't check that shit?
Mm.
You couldn't check that shit? See, my daddy always told me, never interrupt the idiot making a mistake.
Yeah.
And now, think about this. You put yourself on Singleville. Singleville. You're just a fun girl.
Oh yeah, she's a jump off for she didn't put herself in jump off category.
She's a perplexual journeyman when it comes to relationships. She's a perplexual jump off. But yet, you know, when the young man was on BGS's earlier, he couldn't tell us why he didn't marry the girl he was with for 3 years, or why didn't he propose.
Mm.
What did Kevin say? See, people don't bring up Kevin when he talks about healthy relationships. They just want to bring up Kevin when he calls a chick average, who was actually, Kevin was being nice.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because the chick was really a 4. Damn near bordering on a 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. You got a chick who is around what you would give Brittany, around a 9?
Maybe around a 7. She's gone down a little bit.
She's gone down a little bit, but her prime, she was an easy 9.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna put her below a 6. I'm sorry, them legs. Nah.
She's still fine.
Got them legs.
She's still a fine motherfucker.
If it wasn't for that mouth, oh boy, yeah.
She's still a fine motherfucker, still an athletic motherfucker.
Yeah. She a fine mother. Yeah, I have to give it to her. She's fine.
She's about an 8. She used to be a 9 in her prime. You right with that one, Calvin. And see, what happens is, I've always said this is the biggest fuck up. When you have very extremely pretty women who have tremendously ugly attitudes, it makes you less attractive than an average woman with a good attitude.
Oh yeah, can you imagine waking up to that? Oh my god! Oh, no, you gotta get the fuck out. No.
Get the fuck out. Chicks like that will make your dick shrink back into your belly button.
Yeah,
It
pretty
will
much.
it will shrink back into your groin. Your nuts will go back inside. It's like a kid back in the day when the streetlights came on. You ran back inside. But yet, nobody could see this chick has a problem. See, PJ, see what happened was PJ, we're being joined by the Bit of Truth Show, aka Embrace Villainy.
Hi.
What's up?
Hey, what's
How are
going
you guys?
How you doing?
Woo.
Is that villainous enough for you, man?
Woo. Woo. Am I saying
Woo!
it right? Woo. Okay.
Woo! Hey, what you
I'm funny.
But think about it. What's if you were in a little bit of your background? You're a photographer, right?
Yes.
So you dealt with very beautiful women, or at least made them even more beautiful.
on?
Hey, I always say the chicks are fine. All I did was just capture what was put in front of me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine having a chick who hit the genetic jackpot have a serious meltdown like that.
I've seen it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, she's drunk. Once because I've seen the thumbnails of people talking about it, but I don't care about what she's doing. I mean, she's due for a meltdown. She's like Old Faithful.
Mm-hmm.
You can set your watch to a Brittany Renner eruption, a meltdown. And unfortunately for her, it was done during an interview. Who was that? Charleston. That Charleston White she was with?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So she's drunk on the interview with Charleston White and some heavyweight champion dude, and she hitting him with stuff and talking about how the baby ruined her moneymaker, and she can't wait till PJ Washington get a big contract so that way she can get more money in child support, at least negotiate her child support agreement. Of course, she wants him to win. This for her benefit.
Exactly.
Right. She
This
out
is
there
the
with
reason why I tell you, and this is the reason why guys like, hey, Bay, how old are you?
52.
52. How old are you, Albert?
40.
And I'm 41. These are middle-aged men telling you young men, look, if you're going to mess with some of these chicks, you better protect yourself at all times. You better treat it like a wrestling match, a UFC fight, a boxing match. Protect yourself at all times. Especially if you're one of the lucky few to make that type of money. But for some reason, God bless simps with money, man.
Yeah, because everybody in PJ's life told her not to deal with her.
You know what? Look, it hurts her so that she fumbled that bag because she knew, as PJ told her, look, you get the house, you can drive any one of the cars, and you get a $60K a month allowance. All right. You get to live in the most exclusive neighborhood in the city while I'm out here doing basketball stuff. He actually did with her what I said Tiger Woods and other athletes should do with their wives before you get married. Hey, look, I'm such and such. I'm going to fuck these hoes, but I'm not going to bring home no diseases and no babies. All right. Meanwhile, this is what you get. You get the house, you get to drive any one of these cars, and you get $60K a month. Deal? And she balked at that because she wanted to go out and be able to sleep with who she wanted to sleep with too. It wasn't even about the money. It was just, I guess we're going to be a swinging couple. No, chick, I'm trying to give you this is the trade-off. You don't have to sell no more cookies. All right? You done being a Girl Scout. You're done. This is the trade-off. And she balked at that. So he said, okay, what did he do? He tried to work it out. She didn't want to renegotiate the deal. So he said, okay, cool. And then when they went to court And remember, she ain't getting no 100,000s and all this stuff that was first reported. What is she getting, like 2,500?
If that, 20,
Yeah,
like 5,000.
Yeah,
She ain't getting what she thought she'd get.
Yeah, she can't live out in California off that. Are you kidding me? Sure,
Nah.
1-bedroom apartment is starting you at about 7, 8. You know what I'm saying?
You're right, Biggs. Hey, Darren, you're right. You, Darren, put that again in the chat for the niggas in the back who don't understand. You should never, ever, thou shalt not make a hoe into a housewife.
Yes, sir.
He
Yes,
tried.
sir.
Should I say it again for the? Should I say it again for the
Please
niggas
say
in the
that again.
back?
Please say that again. Yes, sir.
There was a commandment that Elohim said to the people. He started out like this. Woo! Thou shalt never make a hoe into a housewife. And your days will be plentiful.
He is lucky that she turned down the deal.
One of the Padawans in here, Mello. You should never make that. See, here's the fact of the matter. There's an old Baltimore club mix. Find them, fuck them, and flee them. Find them, fuck them, and flee them. I'm sorry. I'm never going to tell young men don't fuck a big butt pretty hoe like her with them legs. God damn, them legs still look good.
Yeah, I can't deny the
but
legs.
to
man.
impregnate that bitch, you get some condoms, you get some spermicide, man. Every sperm must go. You got to be the Terminator with your ski. Them motherfuckers be like, I'll be back. No, the fuck you won't. Shit. You got to T2 that motherfucker. Put him in the vat. You got to get like a mini incinerator and shit for your condoms. Burn that motherfucker.
You need to put some hot sauce in the condom. Shout out to Drake. I'm sorry, that was funny.
Oh, you talking about that hot sauce?
How did that case end, by the way?
I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a good question.
You know what? I could not be the judge on that shit because I've been like, can Drake come to the bench? I'd have been like whispered to him, my nigga.
You're right. Can I buy you a drink? You're right. Can I buy you a drink?
I gotta buy you a drink. I'm gonna tell you.
I don't even drink. I would still buy him a drink. Shit.
I'm gonna drink that day.
Yeah.
See, let old Sarge tell you this. Oh, Mello said it got dismissed. Hey, shout out to the 20-year-old. Shout out to he's going to be 20 in October. Shout out to the 19 to almost 20-year-old. The chick was crazy. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's one of the guys right there who's 19. And I trained him in firearms, and he just last week got his gun permit to work. Armed security. And he also worked for my company when we had BlairCon. So I got a lot of Padawans. I guess now he might be a Jedi Knight. Who knows? But he might be more of a what's the dudes from the what's Boba Fett's people, the Mandalorians?
Yeah, Mandalorians.
Yeah, he might be more Mandalorian than Jedi. I don't know. I'll let him pick. He's a Padawan.
I mean, you don't have to answer the question, but like a roundabout figure, how many people you have on your team?
Well, if I pull resources, I can have anywhere from 10, and shout out to Biggs because he was my second in command there. I could have we had 7, including myself, but in a perfect scenario, if I get enough, he's a Mando. I say, I could get around anywhere from 10 to 20 if I let people know and if we could facilitate.
Excellent. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
And I'm training more people. Like I told people, the mission is for 2024 is renew my Maryland licensing, but also to get to DC and Virginia and maybe look into Pennsylvania. I'm trying to rule the DMV.
From what I'm seeing, it looked like, remember we talked about this the other day.
Oh yeah,
about
shout out.
when I asked you if you're able to protect neighborhoods
Yes.
as a private security firm, because
yes.
it looks like they've already rolled out the AI security force. They just haven't rolled out the humanoid, but the humanoid is in the advert. They got the R2, they got the car, they got the pyramid, and they got the humanoid. All right. So, and I think they're waiting to see the public's reaction to the pyramid and the car and the R2 unit before they roll out the
See,
humanoid. They
this
also
is the reason why this is the reason why you need a human being. Because humans can make them split-second decisions, and humans have empathy. I'm going to give you a good example, right? And I spoke to Rob and Mello about this, and I think I might have spoke to Biggs, aka Darren. 2 weeks before we did the job at BlurCon, there was a mass shooting in Baltimore where 30 people were hit. About what it was, 20, 30?
20, 30, I think 2 died.
2 people died. 2 died, right? Number one, let's talk of the fallacy of what happened. They didn't have any placards to have a block party. They didn't get any licensing or any, permits. Number two, they could have called a security firm like mine, and we could have had Negroes armed to the teeth, pistols, shotguns, and rifles. Because if we have a large crowd, yep, 30 dead, 30 shot, 2 dead. One was 23 and the other was 18. The female was 18 and the guy was 23.
Looked like decent kids too, suburban kids and whatnot. They had that
and
look.
It's over South Baltimore, where my sister's from. A lot of her people's from, because we have the same father but not the same mom, and a lot of her peoples are from the Cherry Hill area. And I've been around Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill was rough as fuck. And it's like, you got to remember, I'm qualifying guys to get their security clearance and their private detectives. I'm teaching executive protection. I'm trying to teach. I can teach rifle and shotgun too. So we're more than capable, and you can ask Biggs and Mello, who's in the chat now. We're more than capable with enough men and good enough pay. We would have secured and held that shit the fuck down. If we could do 10,000 people, I'm pretty sure we can handle a motherfucking block party. Would you agree?
Agreed.
The one thing I learned is I got protocols, and just to let you and AB know, tomorrow's my orientation, and the lieutenant for the midnight shift is out. So guess who's the shift commander? Me. So basically, I'm gonna be running the midnight shift at the college with the police officers and security. So basically, I'll be the acting lieutenant. But this is what you have to fundamentally do. Just like I have young men to understand and respect the firearm. Shout out to my second command, Darren. Next time we do another big project, yes, rank will be issued, and that way everybody can know who's in charge and who's going to be training. It's the same way you got to tell young men, don't mess with a bitch who can ruin your life. It's just like I said earlier. Women don't understand what men want. Men don't understand how women are. I'm sorry. My mom was trained to be a wife. My dad was trained to be a husband. When I was sick with COVID, she would clean so efficiently, without question. It was mechanical. It was almost scary. Like, she would do a whole, from the basement all the way up to the living room, up to the bedrooms, mechanical, without question, without sweat, without worrying. My father, he would just fix shit, and it was mechanical. It was automatic. But now we devolved into a culture where all you need is a pretty face. See, as much as I love pretty bodies and pretty faces, at some point your boy got to close his eyes and say, is she going to be a perfect fit for my life, for my lifestyle, for my business? Is she going to run away with the bag? Is she going to fuck the neighbor while I'm gone?
Well, let's hope so. Hi, neighbor.
No wonder you let me hold your lawnmower so long. Because obviously I let you hold my rake and my hoe. Little garden humor there. Little garden humor.
With our secret.
You gotta say, young men listening to me, if you choose to be in this dating and mating, as pretty as she is, close your eyes and talk to her. That's why getting to know somebody before the first date is very important. And once you get to that first date, you got to observe. Do the least amount of talking necessary. As my father would say, never interrupt a fool making a mistake. Then, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll just be brief. I always ask them, like, so, tell me about your father. And then I just let them talk. Because first and foremost, I mean, the number one thing a guy should really listen for is how a woman talks about either her father or her father figure or her opinion on male authority, just by simply asking her, tell me about your dad.
Yep.
And then you
say that again for the niggas in the back who don't listen.
Right. And if she really don't want to open up, I mean, like, well, like, did you know, like, I ain't really know my dad. Like, well, what did you have, like, a father figure or anything? You start asking those questions and you see how she responds. I mean, every girl has a father figure. It's just, or a father figure. There's always some positive male role model in her life when she was growing up. And then you just listen to her tell stories about him. And that's where, what she feels is what she felt was important. And you just go on it based by that.
And then on top of that, let's reverse it to for the females, for the 5% of females listening, in case you might share it with your homegirls or your girlfriends. Always ask a guy about his mother. This is two things you always ask. Ask about his mother, and then you ask, very importantly, how impactful was his father in his life? You know why? Because if this guy tells you some stupid shit like, my mama taught me everything I know how to be a man, tell him have a nice day, get up and leave.
Yep, time to run.
Because you're dealing with a female in the male's body. You're dealing with a female.
Exactly.
You might as well be in a lesbian relationship.
Exactly. And then on top of that, that motherfucker is going to be dangerous, overly emotional,
and violent,
hyper feminine, bitchy.
Yep,
can never take collective criticism.
Yep, nobody talks about how he be these simps out here killing y'all. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Exactly.
The ones that they call alphas, because they're street dudes.
Exactly. And I'm gonna point this out, and give me a woo in the chat if you agree with what I'm about to say, and give me a hell no if you don't.
I can't believe you got me sucked into this.
Whoa, you gotta love it. Women have no business saying if a man is alpha or not.
I mean, it's her vagina, her choice, right?
Yep.
I mean,
You have no.
well, think about it. Think about it. You may have a girl or a woman who thinks the world of you. To you, you're her alpha, but to another woman, you're her beta.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
you got to
so
remember
it's
this.
really about perspective.
Alpha is really, do other men follow this motherfucker? Because a woman says, if you notice, a woman will say a man's alpha, and that's only because everything he does benefits her.
Oh my God.
Notice she doesn't say, I listen to my man.
No.
Only other men say who's alpha because in times of trouble, what's up, Iman Perry? Men are going to listen to that motherfucker. Women are going to listen to him. See, are you a capable man when you're not doing anything for her benefit? Boom. Somebody put that in the commandments. Somebody put that in the chat. Are you a capable man and a respected man even when you're not doing anything for her benefit? What's that old Isley Brothers song? I got work to do. I got to go out there and take care of business. Woman, can't you see? Because what? I got work to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I've noticed? I've been following the breadcrumbs of how they are stripping away the uneven playing field that they've given really to black women, because they haven't given black men shit. But they're stripping away the uneven playing field, the special privileges.
Mm-hmm. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, that's why they did away with well, first it was abortion because they, low birth rates for them. But of course, who was the ones that benefited the most from abortion? All right. So there was that, and then of course you had what was it, affirmative action, and then came what? What was the other one that they did? They just did it.
Alimony.
Yep, alimony. Yep, permanent alimony, and then also now they're going to introduce mandatory DNA testing. Now, once they do that, once they get that instituted, that passed across the nationwide against the Continental, I really get the feeling that's when they're going to attack the social services, because it's going to be too many people. It's already too many people applying for social services. On the lesser tier, the lower tier people. All these stores closing and everything. So you're taxing the society. The state cannot handle the payments. So of course, when they lean on government is going to probably, as they've been doing, equal the playing field. I mean, they pretty much legalized prostitution through OnlyFans. All right. They are. They
What
were.
is that?
Yeah, California had passed a bill allowing child prostitution. I mean, the lady had to literally fight to get that repealed. The election board didn't want to repeal it. She had to go to the governor in order to get them to repeal it. I mean, it's about to be third world country rules. I mean, it all really already is. But where the laws are headed towards third world countryism. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if they kept it, but they just reformed it to where it no longer was able to pay your rent, light, gas, telephone, and then food stamps. You understand? It was just supposed to be like a supplement. But barring people who have, like illnesses, handicap, whatever, people that truly, truly need it, not just the working poor, I think they're going to suffer. They're going to make them suffer.
And you got to realize this, man. And I tell every young person this, especially the young black men. It's more important for you to take your good years, your youthful years, get your education, get your training, get your experience, and don't look for serious relationships till you're about 30.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. You got to
Hey,
think. I joined
Charles.
the Army. Yes, sir.
With that being said, what's the best advice to tell these young men how to control their urges since
They're
their
earning
testosterone is at a high level?
Urges.
urges.
A sex doll.
One, beat your dick like a UFC fight. No, I'm just joking. But if you feel sexual, protect yourself at all times. When I go out wrestling, make sure I got a good pair of wrestling shoes because they got to fit comfortably. They got to fit right. One, I don't want to tear into them because I'll have good grip. Hold on for a second. Hold on.
That was funny.
Hello?
Oh, hey, Dad, come on in the door. I forgot my key in the house.
All right.
All right.
That's my son. Fresh out of boxing class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I'll be up. But I would tell them because it's going to be hard for young men to get over their urges. You're going to have, for young men, you have an incredibly strong urge to procreate. Your testosterone is such a high level that one, I'm going to tell you a lot of shit that young men don't understand. The baby cat. Oh man. Hold on, we gotta make sure you come on. Come on. I know. You gotta get them shots first. Shit.
You like Nietzsche.
I know. Like a smaller version. But I give them some food. But you gotta realize if you're gonna play the game, you gotta play it correctly. It's like my son. I'm on a box. Well, better make sure I taught him a few things, how to protect yourself, how to block, how to work your jab. Just like when I told him to wrestle. If you're gonna play the game of sex, you better play it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Well, can I give your room a public service announcement? If you allow me to.
Go ahead.
Charles, can you put my picture up real big?
Got it.
Oh shit.
This is a public service announcement. If you go into some poutine raw, this is what you're going to be spending on a regular basis for Pampers.
Shit.
What the fuck?
Yes,
If
sir.
you can afford that, then go out in the rain with no raincoat. Thank you, Charles.
That's weekly. That's weekly. That's
what the fuck?
Yeah, he was showing us that behind the wall, man. I was like, damn.
You better hope you don't have a pea pot. Just hold it, baby. Hold it. No, but shit. As expensive as all this shit is, all these, I mean, it's not hard to get laid, especially if you're young. I mean, if you're young and you're fairly moderately decent, you're not all fat and out of shape, you should be able to get laid easily. I mean, shit, I remember just saying hi to chicks. You know, when I first moved down here in Atlanta, it was off the chain. So I'm pretty sure it's gotten a whole lot more easier. But the thing is, you gotta protect yourself. You just got. It ain't just a baby. I mean, that's one of the worst things that can happen to you. You know, let's not even talk about some of these diseases. I mean, just because you can take pills and live for a long time with AIDS, don't mean you want it. You know, just because
Yeah,
you take Valtrex for herpes, don't mean you want to take Valtrex for herpes.
yeah. My condolences to you. There's a big STI outbreak down there
Yeah,
So where?
in Houston.
God damn.
we
I
had
mean,
it
we
in Atlanta between gay men and black women.
but they don't fuck. But they don't fuck any bitch ass niggas, huh?
It's funny you mentioned that, Bay. I had a chick that's from Atlanta DM me about a week ago.
Uh-huh.
Asked me, "Are you single?" Like, yeah, I'm single and I'm happy.
Did, did your computer catch a virus?
Nope, nope. It didn't go too
I'm just,
far.
I know I ain't shit. You go ahead and say it. I ain't shit.
Look, any chick down here, any chick that's got a gay friend, especially a gay best friend,
Who? No, 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 no.
they
Yeah.
probably fuck. They probably fucked or they're fucking, you know, as a favor to her. They're doing each other a favor. And she's into anal sex. So, you know, it'll be just like being with a guy, except it's with me.
Oh
And then
dear.
on top of that, you forget they can't go to the sperm bank and get black sperm. And think of how mentally fucked you are to find out your dad is, you know, your Uncle Tom didn't want your mom because he was with your Uncle Steve.
Oh dear.
People don't understand the issues you give your kids.
Oh wait a minute, Charles. Don't talk about Tisha Campbell's husband like that. Oops, did I say that out
Oh,
loud?
oh shit.
Calm on down, stroke. Ain't that the one that was on vacation with Will Smith? They
Oh
Uh,
shit.
up on the island somewhere. Tisha's
Yep.
Campbell, Tisha's
Yep.
home. Tisha
All I
Campbell.
gotta say, all I gotta say is this: tag team back again. Come up.
oh Lord.
Shit.
I mean, you gotta, you gotta be able to, you gotta be able to, you gotta be able to figure some of this shit out, man.
Well, you know, better
And
than Donald Glover.
you know, Atlanta. I'm gonna tell you what Atlanta is. Atlanta is like a haven for a straight guy who's not looking for a serious relationship.
Mm.
Because you can literally have 10 women on your jockstrap on an instant. Did I ever tell you the time when I went to Atlanta when they give you the vacation time from Iraq? And just for y'all who don't know, they give you vacation time because they notice, if you're there constantly, you become a danger to yourself and others. So they give you 2 weeks leave. For me, it felt like 3 weeks because I went from Baltimore to Atlanta, back to Baltimore to DC. So I
Hmm.
was partying. And my ex girlfriend, who's a Spelman graduate, and she was down in ETL, we literally went to a restaurant for dinner. And this the the hostess was about an 8, okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just back here because I'm taking time, vacation time. I'm in the army, I'm at the war, and I got to go back. And then she was like, next thing you know, all these other bitches who were like 7s, 8s, and 9s who were working with her, they jump out of nowhere like the goddamn Foot Clan. And I'm
Hmm.
surrounded, I'm surrounded by 7, 8 chicks. And my date is like, my girl at the time was walking forward. She didn't even notice. I was like, oh shit. It is true what they say about Atlanta. They will mate check you. They be like, you don't want your man like that. You know how they used to go? Niggas in school be like, you want that and touch your food? That's how they were doing with me. You want that? And people don't know. If you're a straight man in Atlanta and you got 4 or 5 days to kill, man, you got some. Man, you probably throwing swinging dick like fucking Conan swings a sword. And the whole thing about it is because a lot of these chicks, you know, they will hop on your dick like this. And then sometimes you gotta be like, get the fuck off. And I mean, you got to think about it. Like a lot of those chicks, just like you have a biological urge for sex as a young teenage to 20-something-year-old, they got a biological urge that kicks in around 27 to 35. I want a baby and I want him yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And see, what you start to realize is that Brittany Renner is starting to become an epidemic. And this is what I mean by it. Brittany Renner is an older chick, no kids at the time, chasing down who? A younger man. For what? Not only a baby, but for his resources.
Mm-hmm.
So she was very predatory. And now that the trip didn't work for her, she's kind of bitter about that shit, isn't she?
Very much so.
She's bitter about that shit.
Her real self came out.
And then now she's trying to she's drunk as shit, getting into bar fights with niggas.
You know what's messed up? I think what it is that it was the way she was behaving. I mean, I didn't hear it all. You know, I only heard what you was playing, but it sounded like it was personal for her because she probably remembers when she used to walk into a room with him, the heavyweight champ. Who else was there?
3 or 4 other guys.
3 or 4 other high-profile men.
At least Charleston and Shannon Briggs.
So you got Charleston White, Shannon Briggs, and who else?
And the guys who host the show. That's about it.
Just Charleston White and Shannon Briggs. Because she would probably let Charleston White hit it if he had the money. Because understand, this chick she's strapped, she cash strapped. That's why she's doing interviews. I mean, seriously, who gives a fuck about Brittany Renner? But they paid her for the interview. But she's probably used to walking into a room full of, you know, at least those 2 type of different men. You know, some guy that's got some money and some guy that's got, more money than God money, superstar money. So more than likely what happened was she was probably kind of offended that neither one of them even offered, and probably something was said or something that she heard or whatnot, where she probably thinks that it may be the rumor about how her pussy is now trash, how she used to have sweet walls and now her shit is garbage. You know what I'm saying? Now she got to rely on her head to make a dude come and shit.
You know, these bitches no Kegel exercises.
Well, I mean, there's no Kegels when your fucking walls are like look like a demolition derby.
Right, you heard what she said. She had a 2nd grade tear.
A 2nd grade tear for cooch.
Yeah.
So that means she had to get sewn up.
Translation: she got ran through.
Wait a minute. Didn't she had a kid, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's because of that. Okay. Yeah, because sometimes with it, instead of a C-section, sometimes they'll do a cut on her JJ birth canal just to help the baby's head go out.
Right.
I know some people have gone through that, so I'm like, ay.
The best thing for a chick who got some golden cookie is to have a cesarean.
That's like up to 3 pregnancies you could have a C-section, or you can hire a surrogate in some cases.
I mean, if you got damn. I mean, when and that was funny when Charleston was like, "Damn, that boy got a head like his daddy."
See, making the baby and shit. I mean, she taking all of that shit personally and is fucking with her.
Mm-hmm.
And now here she is, drunk as shit, probably off of clear liquor. All right, that's why you shouldn't drink on a podcast that fresh and fit shit. You know, that's why that whatever podcast, that's why it runs so smooth. They don't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't drink, and they're not trying to be outrageous. They're trying to be logical. But at any rate, and now here she is acting a fool. Now just imagine how she feel right now looking at that whole video.
Oh, the video's actually worse because she's kicking stuff, throwing stuff at people.
Yeah, imagine how she feels as sober. She's sober Brittany now. And now she's watching that. She just whatever brand she was trying to cultivate. Because if she would have opened up a podcast where she was warning girls, hey, look, these are the traps. Don't do this, don't do that. You know, just giving advice. Hey, I wish I would have never got in this business. But for those that are, let me, hey, understand what this mean, that mean, stay away from yacht parties and all that shit. I mean, but no, now ain't nobody gonna listen to her now.
I mean, they're gonna remember her as the drunk bitch. And here's even worse. Imagine what her son's gonna have to hear when he goes to fucking grade school.
Oh gosh.
Oh, he's gonna be fighting kids. He's gonna be fighting.
Every time somebody say something about his mother, all you're gonna see is this. Y'all ready?
Go.
They know you're my mom and everything. That's why I'm fighting school every day.
You're gonna be seeing this.
I had a girl tell me that
and if he's not that good at if he's not that good at doing that, you're gonna be seeing a lot of this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I had a girl tell me that children of OnlyFans models don't get harassed. They should be proud that their mother is so free to engage in sex work in order to feed them.
You know what? That same bitch, ask her how she would feel if her mother was a prostitute on the corner.
Well, she would lie and say, yeah, but I asked her because she got a kid out of wedlock, of course, because she used to model for me. So I asked her, I said, well, what's your OnlyFans? And she's like, wouldn't you like to know? I'm like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I know she don't have one, but my thing is
Candy Grandma Mango.
Don't promote something that you wouldn't do yourself.
Right.
Exactly.
It's called faking the funk, babe. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta stop calling you babe because like I said about that, I'm just gonna call you Lord because that's what it means. But,
or just call me EV.
Oh, bitter.
Oh, either one. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Whatever
rocks your boat is like my younger brother would say.
what really makes it fucked up is that all that anguish she feels inside for herself. How did I fuck this up?
Being stubborn. Because you know what he did. Once the court case was done, he turned right around, got him a chick from Africa, and had the baby and got married and everything. And now she driving around in any car she wants to and getting $60K a month. And you don't hear a peep out of him or her. It's almost
she learned to shut the fuck up because she knows anytime she can open her mouth, what's it gonna do?
And now here's the fucked up point. PJ's married now, right?
Yeah.
So now he has grounds to take that baby from her.
Yep.
Home wife.
Because he's got a more stable environment to raise that child.
Yeah.
And let's not forget something very important we got to remember about Brittany Renner. She's type 1 bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's ever off her meds, if she is taking meds, some people with bipolar don't take meds, but if she, because she's gonna have her days where she's gonna have a manic episode or a depressive episode, and if she has a depressive episode, What's the suicide rate for people bipolar? 1 in 4.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to remember that postpartum shit lasts for a minute.
Oh man, especially if you don't get help. I mean, I don't know how it is for y'all, but maybe you could explain it to me better. But when you're dealing with a woman who's having postpartum, you got to get her help because the postpartum is a result of her hormones crash after giving birth. Because during the height of pregnancy, her hormones are at their peak. But after giving birth, she just crashes. But that's that just transition from pregnancy to motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And
Some women don't recover from it completely.
I went through that when my son was born, and luckily I was around. So that was the heavy part. It was like, luckily I was around for that shit. And
how big of a help was your mom or her mother during that shit?
it was
Were they any help at all?
Well, my mom, she worked, so she was helped, but her mom, I guess her mom did something. I'm still trying to figure out what. But a lot of times it was me because I'm like, hey, give me that boy. Like, I can't put him to sleep. And you got to remember, he was born July. I got hired September at the police department. So literally, the first year of his life, I had to do the academy. And there's times, well, I'm going there home. I'm going home. Try to get her to live with me, but oh well. And I'm like, well, I can't put him to sleep. Next thing you know, 30 minutes later, he's cool. And I'm like, you gotta remember, a lot of these chicks do not like being mothers. It's a job. They hate being. They really look. You know who they really look up to secretly is Peggy Bundy.
Oh boy.
They want to be.
That reminds me of a scene. She comes into the house. She says, "Hey Al, did you miss me?" And he says, "With every single bullet."
Yep. The funniest shit he ever told her was, I could see myself in a Jaguar. And he was like, if only we can find one that hungry.
Oh my God.
You know what's messed up though? This shit goes all the way back to the honeymooners.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jackie Gleason.
Yep. To the moon, Alice. To the moon. I'm like, damn.
Like, even back then. And remember how many people would tell you back in the day, oh, we had stable relations. How many of these motherfuckers come home? Think about it. Well, we were beating on the wives. I said, let me ask you something. And I had to ask this one chick, was your grandmother dainty? Like, was she just a streaking flower? Well, no, she was real tough. So how the fuck you think she getting beat up on?
Let's not forget something. Y'all forgetting something about that.
Grandpa was a bricklayer.
Yeah. Let's not forget something. The honeymooners, they were set in the 1950s, right?
Yeah.
This is a generation following World War II because remember, it wasn't just the men, but also the women who were serving in the armed forces. And during World War II, a lot of women were in the factories while the men were at war, right? The whole Rosie the Riveter thing, that continued into the Korea War. So a lot of women were not pushovers. They were standing their ground. And they were just as capable.
We'll question the capabilities, but
true. Sometimes I project my mom. I should project my mom's generation on certain generations, and they were gangster.
And I mean, you gotta remember when we have major wars. Remember, where your people's war is a little bit different than ours, and I'll give you the historical trend.
Sorry.
I'll give you the historical backings on that. When y'all were fighting for independence, it was all hands on deck.
Oh yeah.
They try to make it look like
every front. On every front. We're not just talking just on the battlefield.
They try to make it look like it was all hands on deck for us, but here's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
all hands on deck was, okay, we want to be strong and independent too, but we ain't trying to go out to no goddamn Vietnam.
Yeah.
Ask all your aunts if they wanted to go to fucking Vietnam.
Nope. How many women were in the USO though is the question.
And remember, when we look at this shit, we got to look at it from very very logical wise. You got chicks like, Ms. Renner and others who who suffer from mental issues, but we don't talk about the biggest issue, the tragic mulatto.
Yeah. The tragic mulatto, indeed. I remember was wasn't in that one movie? Yeah, they used what's her name? Raven Simone when she was a little kid as the kid version, and then they had Halle Berry as the adult version of the woman. I think it was Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. So you gotta think about it.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. So you were saying?
You gotta think about it, right? Her mother is not black. Her mother's white.
Judy Berry, yeah. Her father was black.
So
My boys would
where's
flip out when I mentioned that. Because I remember they had a thing for Holly, and I never understood what Holly was about. I just never did like Holly Berry. I said, she's a fine black woman. I just take away. I was like, isn't a mama white? No! Don't say that. Don't say that. Okay, sorry.
Just like Brittany Renner's mom.
Her mom's white. I'm not surprised. How many of the sisters you know? Oh, thanks for stopping by, babe. I'm sure, but some people might come up later. But how many of the black women we know whose mother's white? I can name a couple.
But think about
Jasmine Guy.
Jasmine Guy.
What's the name? Lisa Bonet.
Uh-huh.
Although her mom's Jewish.
It's still white.
Yeah. Yeah, but the other white meat, you could say.
The other white meat instead of chicken is
The
pork.
kosher white.
Instead of pork, it's
non-pork.
chicken. I guess it's chicken or turkey.
Or lamb.
But here's the fundamental thing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck is Brittany acting like this? But your mom isn't white. It's always like, guess what? She's gonna fall to the society that accepts her. And guess what society accepts her?
Black.
Mm-hmm.
Also, given that she's bipolar, you got to be worried. You got to understand that a lot of them don't want to take they don't take the medication, so they self-medicate with drugs and alcohol. I can't stress that enough. And given the genetic component of bipolar disorder, so if you have a parent or someone from your parents' generation who has the disorder, or maybe a grandparent who may have had it, it can be passed on to you. I mean, how many people do genetic screening? I can't stress that enough. Or am I wrong for saying that?
I mean, here's the main parts. It's like, if she got all these issues, which most likely exploded on the PJ.
Oh yeah.
Who wants to be near that?
I had a homegirl.
Who wants to fuck to be near that? And I mean,
a lot of people, because I'm trying to remember. There was a video that BGS put out a while back. It was on I think it was on the Black Gnostic. I think it's on the Black Gnostic channel, or maybe it could be on the BGS Edmark channel. He said, like, the whole thing about the alpha widow. They're always chasing that high.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. Women with bipolar disorder and women who are who have some form of schizophrenia or schizoid disorder, they can while other women are trying to relive and chase that high, women with these types of disorders, especially when they're in a psychotic or manic episode, they can achieve that very high, that orgasm every single time. They're able to repeat it for some reason. It's due to the chemical imbalance in their heads, in their brains and such. I could be wrong, but it's something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't even understand what the fuck's going on because a lot of people don't like to talk about. They don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about the issues.
Yeah, it's even worse in other societies, other more traditional societies as well. There's a stigma to it, and you come on, and it's just this. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, as Mrs. Z would say, but when you have a substance abuse problem, man, that's when you need an intervention. And for a lot of women, when they get older, their tolerance for alcohol is less and less, and it has a lot of negative effects on them. Alcoholism can actually speed up the aging process in a woman. I mean, Charles?
Yeah.
You got quiet there for a minute.
I'm just listening.
So I mean, I know we're talking about black folks here, but in my case, having been interacting with a lot of Norwegian folks, there were some teenagers I got to know pretty well, and they don't mind having a drink every once in a while, but in a subconscious way, they feel kind of guilty about it because they have a parent that's an alcoholic. Sometimes they look at me and they say, "How is it you don't drink?" And I just explain to them, I remember hanging with my boys and watching them get shit-faced every now and then. I mean, there was one time at a house party, one of my dudes, he was like a happy drunk, right? But sometimes he's like 6'4", strong dude, ripped as hell. But he's not buff, he's more like lean and everything. But there was this young kid he was talking to. He was trying to take her into another room, and I knew he was, he'd been, happy drunk, and we had to like kind of finesse our way. We couldn't be direct with him. We had to kind of finesse or indirectly try to pry him apart from her, and so her friends could just grab her and get her out of that situation because we were trying to protect him from like catching the case. And it was times like this I'm glad I did not want to drink. It's just, this is why I think a lot of women, black women in particular, but women in general, need to understand, especially the younger generations, because they like to get shit-faced like wild, especially like when they be mixing drinks and everything. You know what I'm saying? Oh, to the folks in the chat, if you don't like what I'm saying, give me a 0. If you agree with a lot of the stuff I'm saying, please hit a 1 in the chat.
Because you got to think about it. Mental illness is something we really downgrade in the black community a lot.
Along with substance abuse.
We just do.
Mm-hmm.
We just do.
I mean, yeah. Who's to say, in the case of Brittany Renner, who's to say it wasn't from her mom's side she inherited the disorder?
Who knows? But guess what she's classified in America?
Black. The 1-drop rule is always in effect, no matter which way.
Always in effect.
It don't matter what race, no matter how much of you is white. That one person, part of you is non-white. I'm talking not just black, Latina, Asian, South Asian, East Asian, Southeast Asian, Central Asian, African. If you are that one drop rule means something. You are not pure. You're tainted. You are a hybrid. And that in itself can really screw up a person. I mean, here's an example of somebody
You got to
that
think
comes
about it. They
around with.
live in two worlds and don't fit in either.
Thank you, Master Sergeant Rogers, for your one. As an old salt. Wait, can I still say old salt? Is it wrong to refer to a senior serviceman as an old salt? Calvin Rogers, thank you for your one. I'm sure you understand more than any of us exactly what we're talking about, especially what I'm saying. Charles, am I talking too much? Charles?
Nah, keep going.
But like what I was saying is like and understand, bear with me, folks. My mind's all over the place right now. Yeah. But that one drop rule in being like, being in two worlds and never be accepted. I think the best example would be like it's Blade. Wesley Snipes' character. Blade. Salute, Kareem Austin. I mean, he's a hybrid. Good evening, Charles, anonymous woman.
Let me read this. Hello, Charles. Just stopping by to say that you are quite funny and charming. I agree with your commentary. Most women do, but we love to be evil. I mean, here's the fact, man. A lot of women are not bound by society the same way men are still bound by society. Men are still expected to. Hilarious. Men are still expected to hold society together. What if men reneged on their duties like women are allowed to today? Remember, abortion's not federally supported, but states still give them the options depending on the state. When men can't find work to take care of themselves or their kids, they're threatened with jail. When women can't find work to take care of their kids, they're given welfare, child support, custody, education, transportation. They're given so much. They're even given vouchers. And see, what happens is that
and Obama phones.
Hey, Obama phones are good drop phones. But
shout out to Mr. Z, whose cell phone game needs to be upgraded from that Obama phone to a Samsung. Y'all need to donate more to his.
He's got what's up, Kareem? And like I was saying, a lot of women have gotten to the way of the lazy. The way of the lazy. If a man would have found a woman who was making as much money as a PJ Washington, most men are shut up and play that role and make sure she looks good and he looks good to keep that money rolling.
Shouts out to Kevin Federline until he fucked up.
And a shout out to Stedman, the original OG.
Stedman. Oh, you gotta understand Stedman's background. But that's another. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
You got to understand something. Brittany
Mm-hmm.
Renner thought she outclassed PJ Washington, and she was told the fucking truth. PJ can buy 1,000 of her and still have money left over. Millions, multiple hundreds of millions left over.
You ain't nothing
She
special.
she overstepped her boundaries. Okay? She did not put any value into herself or in his life. Most
How
men
old
will
was she
go
when
to
she
a
met him?
woman, huh?
How old was she when he met him? When she met him? He was like what,
Huh?
19 at the time. How old was she?
18, 19. She probably was like damn near what? She's 30 now, so 30, 31. So
Okay,
she
so
probably,
basically what you have was like this
it
was
was
basically when
predatory.
Shaq went to Cleveland to team up with LeBron.
Hmm. It was predatory.
Very predatory, very manipulative. She thought she
So
had him. Oh, she was 25. Thank you, Calvin Rogers.
25, 25 and a very experienced woman. And you're telling me if this was a normal everyday 19-year-old, would you fuck with him? Might have a car, might have a house, might not even have a house yet. Might have a car, might have a basic job. Would you fuck with him? No, because you knew you could get more. But here's the story of a man named Brady. You found out how much this guy was worth, and it's like if you ever played the story mode of Mortal Kombat and Brittany Renner, basic broad. No, she's not. She's not a basic broad. She's not. Let's if we're gonna talk about the entire truth. Brittany Renner is not an average chick. She's not average beautiful. Okay?
No.
Let's just get that shit out there. She's out of a million chicks, you will not find women who look like her. You won't. Especially not if you're an everyday man, you won't even see these women.
They're in certain circles, my dear. My dear
And
Island.
let's just tell the truth. See, she overplayed her game and thought that she outranked him. And at 19, she did. When he was 19, she did outrank him. But as soon as he signed an NBA contract, the tables have turned Charlie Murphy. He became the dealer. He became the house. And the house always wins.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you play the game too damn long. And
So I gotta
now
start singing
that
Kenny Rogers, the Gambler.
I gotta know when to hold up,
Oh,
when to fold up. You better count your
know
money.
when to walk away, know when to run. You better count your money.
Yeah, money.
When you're
Oh yeah.
sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. I seen the movie. Thanks, Ed. Yeah, that on tape. As you were saying,
Yep.
she thought but the house, that's the problem with some people, I mean, especially like, but then again, let's not forget, like I said, this woman has is manic depressive, and this is not against a knock on people with manic depression who are manic depressive or bipolar, especially type 1 bipolar. That's a classic one. Type 2, their manic episodes are less pronounced. Two examples I can give you of a black woman with bipolar or type 1 would be Jennifer Lewis. Phyllis Hyman, she was bipolar type 2. Hell, she took her own life when you think about it. Phyllis Hyman, that is. But the thing is like I said about Renner, I mean, she overplayed her game. But let's not forget, was she playing with a full deck? at the time. I said a full
Well,
deck, folks, not a full
there's
dick.
a such thing. There's a such thing as being crazy like a fox.
Indeed.
You can be crazy, you just can't be stupid. And no, she's not a basic chick. I'll be the first to correct anybody who says she's basic. Does that look like a basic motherfucker to you?
Let me look her up. It's been a while since I.
Even at 30, she's not a basic chick.
Look at the image of it. Yeah. There's nothing basic about her. She is. First of all, I'm looking at pictures of her right now, and I gotta say something. First of all, black folks out there, do not get tattoos or phrases in a language you don't understand. I know people. I know it was trendy when folks were getting tattoos of words in Chinese or in Sanskrit or Hindi. Some people I know they got certain expressions in both Arabic or in Persian. But as somebody who can read Arabic, I can tell you now. Sometimes it doesn't work. Unless you have that culture, don't use that language. I mean, that'd be like if Charles got his name written in my mother tongue. It wouldn't work.
Say that again.
Charles, you know the writing system of Ethiopians and Eritreans, right? It's called Giz. If you ever seen it,
Yeah.
I don't know if we could have. I don't know if it would be cool. Do you having your name or any kind of phrase in that language tattooed on your arm if you don't know the meaning of it? Or if somebody got something in Wakandan, that'd be okay. Or if it's somebody who's a Trekkie and they got something in Klingon, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's in a language you don't understand, don't do it. Because like I'm noticing, like on Brittany Renner on her leg, she's got a phrase in Arabic. It might have been Persian. I'm trying to look at it. It's like going up one side of her leg.
I mean, you got a lot of shit. Shaka Nulu. Where y'all live? Where you think she ain't basic? I'm just gonna tell you. I'm just gonna tell you, she ain't basic. From look standpoint, she ain't basic. She may have a basic ass attitude, but physically, she ain't basic. I think when people say basic, it is that they are Brittany Renner looking broads in places like Spelman and at the strip joints. Not even at the strip joints. Not even at the strip joints. You don't find that type of beauty. Let me tell you
Back in the
why.
day, maybe, but that was rare.
Not even. I'll put it to you this way. Not even your average stripper can get flown out like she could.
Oh yeah, I can see what you mean about the mulatto thing because I see a lot of what she is like a. There's a lot of white in her. A lot of her features are kind of Caucasian, like an Afro-European look.
And trust me, I've been to Atlanta too. The problem is with Atlanta, a lot of them broads are not from Atlanta. And even when you go to college, a lot of them chicks at Spelman don't look like her.
No, I mean you could be like the finest girl in your old high school, but when you move out of state to college, you see all them girls, all the sorority girls. That's when you get that reality check and realize, okay, now I know where I fit in. And I mean, some folks peak at high school, others peak in college, others peak in adulthood. But this ain't no basic chick. She's like a 100 octane, but this is 100. You could say 100 octane, but this is 100 octane with some serious issues. As they say, crazy in the head, crazy in bed. Nos que te ipsum. Now this chick has Latin script on another arm. Get out of here. She has a Latin phrase in Gothic script. The hell is this? Shaka, and I looked through the make. I looked through it with makeup. Shaka, I don't get what you mean by that.
Boys Village. I mean, I looked through with me. I mean, you got to think about it. A lot of chicks build themselves up, and they do it with makeup and surgery. You're talking about somebody who naturally looks like that, who's naturally coming out the shower, athletic, beautiful. You don't have that. That's rare. That's like Megan Good. Megan Good was pretty since Eve's Bayou. Megan Good was pretty on Cousin Skeeter. Okay. In my mind, Megan's only a few months older than me. She's like she's born in August of 81. I'm born in April 82.
Okay.
And even though I may not have been into girls like that at the young age that she was in, even then I knew she was not common. She was not like, yeah, I could get this bitch and eat. No, she wasn't that. No, sir. No.
No. Yeah, I mean, there's certain girls, you look at them, you like,
the attitude is basic. The body, I'll agree with you there. The attitude's very basic. It's very trashy, but the body and the physical appearance is not. And that's what she got away with. She never really developed a personality. She just developed her beauty. She was a.
See, that's the problem. That's that problem right there. It's like if you it's like that. It's like in mixed martial arts. If you got that strong right hand, and you forget to develop all the other skills, like you forget to improve your ground game, especially your takedown or your sprawl, your takedown defense, or your defense, because your ability to to set your submission skills or whatnot, because you just fall in love with the knockout. That's her. She's just one-sided.
She never had to develop into. Don't forget to hit the like button, please.
Yeah.
Donate to the Cash App. I don't get super chats anymore.
Every aspect of her. She hasn't developed all of her aspects, because all she thought she needed to be was just a pretty face and slamming body, which she naturally has. But she never developed all the other aspects of being a woman. She doesn't understand that it's going to take a combination of beauties and brains, but what's also like what I said, what compromises it all is that her mental health issues. Yeah, she's like trying to reform herself, but hang on a second, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, coming all the way from Indiana, where it's freezing colder than Mr. Freeze's hometown. It's the snowman, Ryan Snow. I just had to give him that intro. I'm not annoying, am I? Just let me know if I cross the line. I don't know.
What's up, Snowman? Got a little feel the blizzard in that motherfucker. We're gonna nickname him Bobby Drake, aka the Iceman.
What about Isaac Frost?
I'd rather do Bobby Drake. He's actual
Alright,
ice. I like Isaac
alright.
Frost from Fight Night, but Bobby Drake.
Or Chuck Liddell, the Iceman.
Oh yeah, the Iceman. I actually have pictures with the Iceman. Pretty cool guy.
One of the greatest light heavyweights. I mean, it's like
One of the greatest UFC fighters, period. Knock you out with just a stare.
only two men got the better of him when it came to knockouts, though, in the UFC.
There was Randy. He had a tough go with Randy until the rematch and the rubber match, and he was knocked out cold by Sugar Rashad Evans.
Oh, that shot from Sugar, that because he tried to come
That
at it. Because
overhand right.
remember that uppercut, that right uppercut.
He tried to go for the
Because
right uppercut, but Sugar's overhand right came quicker.
it was Iceman's upper. No, it was Iceman throwing the overhand.
No, it was
Shane countered
Sugar.
with.
No,
You
Sugar
sure?
Rashad Evans hit him with an overhand. I seen that shit live. He hit him
We
with
gotta.
the overhand. He didn't. It was Iceman trying to come with the uppercut, and he hit him clean.
It's weird because I remember I played because in I have whatchamacallit UFC 2009 Undisputed, and that's one of the classic fights you get to play. I could have sworn that was the knockout, but I could be wrong. But then again, the other one was Quentin Rampage Jackson, that
Yep.
knockout, and Quentin was just like he just came ready to fight in that first round too, and that's what it is. But getting back to where we're getting back, when chicks wear makeup. I look through the makeup. The makeup don't up the rating, my opinion. No, you got to point this, Shaka. Good evening, Kareem. I'll say this. Sometimes I have a hard time looking at a woman. When I'm questioning if that's her natural hair color or if that is her actual cup size.
Well,
Chris Rock said it best.
the lovely Kareem. I'm kind of mad at her. She didn't make BlairCon. I'm just joking. Hopefully, you'll be able to make the next one. You would enjoy it.
John knows she'd be coming to the next one, and Charles. You just
Yeah.
just be more
She's like,
patient,
hi,
brother.
Charles.
Hello, no. She'd be like, "Hello, Charles. How you been?" Because she's a very charming young woman.
Oh
She's a
yeah, gotta
charming
be
lady,
charming.
Oh,
Hi, Charlie.
Shaka, you understand that sometimes it's drapes with bare wooden floors, or it's blinders and bare wooden floors. So and sometimes they'll have or it's like a certain, or they might have like a little one of those little small rugs or something like that, like a Persian rug. It's called the Brazilian. If it's a full wax, it's called Brazilian.
It's called a
Although
Brazilian.
yeah, it's called the Brazilian if it's complete wax of everything. Like she's completely hairless. But there's some of us they like the landing strip, some like the triangle. Others they like to do funky shapes. You know, it's your own bush. You do what you want with it. It's your own front yard. You do what you want with your backyard. But your backyard, you need to clean your backyard too. Man, we're getting way off topic, but like how many women are willing to develop themselves every aspect of their adulthood or their personhood? I mean, if you're a 4 or a 5, you can only go so far by faking the funk, with body shapers, makeup and whatnot. You gotta develop every aspect of your person to
Yeah,
prove
you
that you're
gotta.
an asset to a man.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the critical parts. I think modern women fail is that men are not afraid to hold up to their end of the bargain. I'm, I'm just like, if she wanted the man, she had the man. She had multiple high tier men. It's not like she's a one and done.
She just spoiled for choices.
It's just she thought she didn't know when she had a winning hand. It reminded me of an episode of Family Guy. It's like
Uh-huh.
18 hit me, 19 hit me. Peter, I think you should stop. I'm on a roll. Hit me 20. Hit me 21. All right, hit me.
They later found out he's actually legally retarded.
Legally retarded.
Yeah.
I mean, when if you go ahead and I'm gonna post the link for the
Yeah, I think we need. It'd be good because perhaps we need Karine up here
I'm
because
gonna
she could
post
give us
the
a
link
woman's
to the
perspective.
video
Oh,
that I mean, if Kareem wants to come up, she can come up. But I'm gonna post a video to what AB sent because I think it's one thing to hear it because you can see how nutty she was, but it's another thing when you actually.
she been drinking, right?
I've been drinking. I've been drinking.
No, her. I mean, Renner when she was going off
Yeah,
and everything. How nutty
I've
she
been
was. She was
drinking.
drinking.
That's why I sung the song. I've been drinking. I've been drinking. I really do think that YouTube actually blocks me from utilizing
Oh
all my
my
subs.
God.
I really do
I'm
because
sorry.
if you look
Mm-hmm.
if you look, I, I'm one of the popular guys in the Black Manosphere. I'm not on BGS or Angry Rants level, but I'm pretty popular with people, and people love my commentary. And you can tell right now this is an express. This is basically a ploy to basically silence me.
That's surprising me. Getting shadow banned, getting stuff like that happen to you. It's no surprise. You've been demonetized, right?
Of course, and Fresh and Fitz complaining. Yeah, you
And they
know,
think like they got kicked off, but look, they put themselves in that position.
they didn't even get kicked off. They still got a show.
Yeah, they got demonetized. That's all it was, but they're making a big stink of it. They don't want to own up
Like
because of their actions.
like you got to think about it, right?
Yeah.
It now they can go Vimo, they can go Cash App, they can go PayPal. Now they don't have to share their money, which is funny. They could even go on Twitch, man. So I'm like, I don't like silencing people.
Mm-hmm. Charles, you muted yourself. Oh, someone came up. Hang on. You know what, folks? I think we should also keep in mind that when you check out a woman, not just look at her physique and everything. Look at her skin. Does she have certain tattoos? Because certain tattoos may give you maybe a red flag, may tell you that there's something seriously wrong with this woman. And
She's nuts.
duly, it's quite clearly that she is. And she's has a mood disorder. That's what bipolar is technically, a mood disorder. It's a chemical issue, you know. I mean, I was initially diagnosed with you know, being depressed and everything, but later found out it was a personality disorder. But for me, it's like, you know, there are
Still
women
working
out
at
there,
the
by the
office?
way. Here's the thing,
Question.
though. There are some women out there who are misdiagnosed as bipolar who may actually have borderline personality disorder. As much as people stigmatize it, I'm telling you, folks, no. That's just a woman who's completely traumatized. She's empathetic, but her empathy is compromised due to her trauma and to the level, depending on the level of abuse she may have been subjected, be it physical, emotional, psychological, as well as any fear of abandonment she may have. And you also talk about a woman who will go through in and out of relationships, fearful of men who might try to harm her. Renner is clearly bipolar. She's not a borderline.
No,
She
clearly.
doesn't really have that. Clearly, you can see it in her
Clearly.
eyes. Borderlines, when they get upset, when we get like really. You ever seen a borderline when they get excited? It's, and I'm telling on myself here. It's almost like looking at a person who's going through psychosis, you know, because that look in our eyes is genuine. And, you know, it's just, but I understand that such a person like that doesn't mean harm, but they will lash out if they feel threatened. Bipolars, you know, they're just, when they're off their meds, especially when they're in their manic episode, depending on their mood, they could become aggressive and possibly violent.
And you saw her on the video. If you look on the video, that's her.
I'm gonna take a look. Hell, do you remember Empire?
Oh yeah.
The oldest brother. Because remember when they were locked in the elevator? The three brothers were locked in the elevator. The oldest was going through a manic episode, but unfortunately, in his case, when he has a manic episode, he becomes aggressive. And when they're in the elevator, he was aggressive, having relapses of memories. He was confused. He had no idea where he was, but deep down, he was probably wondering, why am I like this? Because a lot of bipolar folks, they hate this aspect of the disorder because, like anybody who has a mental health disorder, you hate the fact that you have no control of your own mind. You don't understand why you do these things. Why does your mind go, you know, just go out there like that? And it's just so draining at times. I've had my bad days, and I can tell you, they can be. I mean, you remember that one time where I had the anxiety attack on the stream after watching that clip of what's his name's wife going off?
Oh yeah.
I cried on a couple of streams. So you understand that a woman like that, especially because she'd been drinking, her inhibitions are completely gone, and she probably was drinking just to help, self-medicate. But let's not forget, women also have an issue with alcoholism. I mean, what's the name of that movie Denzel Washington did, where he's a pilot?
Oh
The
yeah.
issue with alcoholism.
I forgot what that's called.
I think it was called Flight. But how to
Flight?
be a functioning alcoholic. How many of those women are functioning alcoholics or just have an alcohol dependency?
I mean, this is what I see in the black community, right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of our women have bravado like men. They pride themselves off. I could do anything by myself, and then when you gotta do shit by yourself, and realize how ridiculously hard it is, now you're like, now you're like, hmm, it's it's incredible. Now you see them suffering from shit that men traditionally suffered from for years and decades, if not centuries.
I mean, how many women you know later down the line are just going to end up having kidney and liver issues?
Hey, gal.
Good night, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Oh yeah, we love our favorite Jamaican. Hey.
Okay,
Yeah.
Corinne.
Oh, I just saw the video. That's why I came up. I just saw the video,
Okay.
and that girl
Uh-huh.
is on drugs. I am so
She's
embarrassed for her.
no, Corinne. Do not be embarrassed. First of all, before we continue, because the fact you said good night, I had to laugh. Why? Because I remember a comedian from Brooklyn, Rashid Thurgood, his name. He had a good friend who was Jamaican, and he always say things backward. Like, instead of saying that shoes are brand new, they say, yeah, them shoes are a new brand. Or if you ever call the Jamaican house at night, instead of saying good evening, y'all say good night.
Yeah, we have
So,
been taught to say that. That's a bad thing when you don't say good night.
huh?
It's a bad thing when you don't greet people and say good night. That's disrespectful.
What about good evening?
I mean, it's nighttime now. It's 10:02. It's nighttime for me. I don't know where you at. Where you at? It's daytime?
It's 4 in the morning where I'm at. It's still dark.
Okay.
Sunrise won't be till like 7 in the morning.
He's in
Good morning.
Scandinavia.
Okay, so good morning,
And,
Neymar in
and shout out to
Norway.
Kareem. Shout out to our other Kareem, the guy Kareem Austin for the
Kareem Austin.
Cash App.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you're right, Kareem.
Charles is 10 o'clock. Where we at?
All right.
Oh yeah, it's 10 o'clock. My boy over here he in Scandinavia and shit.
Yeah, Norway. You guys watch the World Championship?
Oh
Which one?
yeah, it was like
the athletics, the track and field, of course.
the track and
Oh, I haven't
field.
got a chance to check it out lately.
I
I've
was
been like,
gonna rub it in your face a little bit.
I know you were like, yeah, y'all did good. America did well.
See, I had to, even though I do love me some Shelly Ann Fraser Price. Good God Almighty.
Yeah,
how tall is she?
She's not tall. She's maybe like 5'2", maybe.
She's 5'2", and she's got that magnificent. She's got that magnificent ass.
Yeah, she's 5'2",
and
but her booty's like 4. But her booty's 4'11".
She's a mother. She's happily married with a child, though, from what I understand.
And she's very happily married, and kudos to her because it is not easy for women to get back in high-level athletics after having a kid.
I know.
Oh no.
And I mean, she's 36 now too. So remember, she's running. She's on the twilight of her career because track and field they've done at 30, 32. You're done, right? And she's on the twilight, and she's still doing good.
You're forgetting one Jamaican woman, Corinne. Do you remember Merlene Ottey?
Yeah, Merlene Ottey. Yeah,
she 44.
Yeah, she did.
She even ran for Slovenia one time in the later ends of her year.
Because Jamaica was like, okay, it's time to pack it in, and she's like, no, y'all don't want to make me come on the national team. I'm gonna go run for Slovenia. And they gave her citizenship and made her run.
Hey, she was determined.
Yeah,
she was determined.
Listen, people, when you want to do something, you can do it. This Brittany Renner girl, she needs to get herself in order, though. This is very
she needs help.
For her.
She needs to go to rehab.
She does. She just looks crazy. And
it's not rehab, actually. In her case, because like I said, she's manic depressive. She needs to see a psychotherapist, somebody, and also she might need some serious counseling. But the alcoholism, she needs to go. Yes, she will have to go into rehab, but that has to become secondary.
When you go to rehab, it's usually all the above, and because she needs the counseling, she needs the help, she needs the meds, because they'll have the psychiatrist and they'll give her all the psychiatric treatment because they're going to treat that as one. They're going to treat it like like Comcast. You get your cable and your internet and your phone. It's a bundle.
Sounds like my cable company.
Oh my God. I mean, wow. I couldn't believe she said all of that, and then she's cursing out this guy and doing all. I mean, I know the guy is a funny guy. Charleston guy is he's a comedian, right? And he's a shock jock or whatever, shock internet guy. But come on, you carrying yourself like that? You're not a nice looking girl.
And then here's the bad part, Kareem. She threw a bottle at a 2-time heavyweight champion, Shannon Briggs.
What? I didn't see that in the video. She did that?
When she threw the bottle, it hit. She was trying to hit another guy, and it hit Shannon Briggs. So she's like, "What?" He like, "What are you doing?" And she's like,
"Oh no, this girl. Does she have a manager or a handler or whatever? Her team publicist, whatever they call them. They need to get her in order, because if she was my client, I would be losing a lot of money on her. I understand they like the ghetto thing, but no, she's out of control.
Charleston White, I think he knew, because there's something sleazy about Charleston White, I've noticed. But he just wants to he's a bit of an instigator himself. He just likes to he'll try to push buttons because he likes to test people.
But she's a woman. She doesn't learn how to carry herself better than that. And I mean,
I mean, look at her. She had her makeup case. Look at her. She's got her makeup brush in her hand. I'm looking at the video where she's going.
I'm professional.
She's got a makeup brush in her hand while she's talking to them and everything.
She just
and this is on somebody else's. And this is on somebody else's podcast. And White himself.
It's not a podcast where they only see you talk. It's a podcast where visual. It's on video.
Yeah.
You should come camera ready. Isn't she a video girl? Wasn't she a video model or something before?
Like a video vixen?
Yeah, wasn't she that? How did she get with her boyfriend, the PJ guy? How did she get with him? Wasn't she a model or a movie? Video girl?
Yeah.
I'm
just watching her. I'm watching her go off, and everybody just antagonizing, laughing at her.
Think of her as one of the original. Think of her as one of the OG Instagram models. She's one of the OG Instagram models.
You see the chaos. I don't know who was saying it, but remember back in the day when these people became famous, they would give them like media lessons, how to speak. They need to bring that back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Finishing schools and such,
Yes, they need to bring that back.
Publicists.
They need to
but some people
this back.
Publicists, attorneys, financial advisors, they need all that. Oh, yeah, I see what you're throwing up, because somebody was antagonizing. And look at Charleston. I'm watching her just cut somebody out, and Charleston just looking at it, smiling, just like, this is entertaining for him because he's getting off.
You heard about sorry, Neema. You heard about the girl that's doing she's all over the internet now because everybody, all these channels is flaming her. The one that she's in what movie she's in? She's gonna be in that prequel for Hunger Games, and she's gonna play Snow White in this new movie that's supposed to be coming out next year, right?
Oh, Zelger.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What's the controversy? What's the controversy about Snow White?
Okay, basically, not only that, she's saying, first of all, the prince was a stalker. She's saying that it's old and that she is so old and she want to make it new. And she's saying that how Snow White is not going to be a princess. She's going to be a leader and like a girl boss. This girl bossing a Snow White. I'm sorry, it's a cartoon about a man saving a princess. What are you talking about? Why call it Snow White?
They really want this whole woman hero shit in there. Look. This is the reason why a lot of shit's turned off. It's like Barbie. I was actually tempted to go see Barbie just so I could do a review.
It's trash. Of
course, I know it's trash. I was tempted to show how
Rachel
much
Zegler's her name.
was. And
Rachel
it was
Zegler's her name. Sorry.
And it was like, dude, you want this whole woman woke shit. Y'all keep doing this shit, and you wondering why a lot of these chicks are not getting married. I'm a boss chick, and guess what boss chicks usually get? Not married and have a bunch of cats or dogs.
I mean, the
I
Barbie
mentioned.
movie was so stupid, and I was so disappointed because I've watched Barbie cartoon movies with my daughter. So then when we went to see this movie, I was like, what is this? What is this foolishness? How they break up Ken and Barbie? Barbie and Ken is not together. What? They just went crazy with it. Made it like a whole feminist bullshit about patriarchy, and it was just, I
And
was like, garbage. I don't
But
know
if you
how it's
look,
making so much money.
but you look at it right. These broads complain about patriarchy, but why do you still want men who make more than you? That's very patriotic. That's very patriarchal. Excuse me.
may I answer that question if possible?
Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
I mentioned this on Mrs. Z's hangout the other day. If anybody remembers, Khalees had an album back in '06 called Khalees is Here. She had a song called Bossy featuring Too Short. If you
Mm-hmm.
understand the
Yeah.
hook in that song, well, that will sum up everything about what women are talking about. They want you to be a man, but they need you in the background because they want it to be about them first and foremost. You an afterthought. Another prime
Listen.
example of that is if you go back to the '90s. Maya had that song called "It's All About Me," and she had Cisco as backup. Or here's another example, more recent. That hits closer to home to us. What's the name of that one magazine where they had Rihanna in the front and you had ASAP Rocky holding their child in the background while holding her hand?
Oh, was that
That's what.
Vogue? Vogue?
Yeah.
Was it Vogue?
Yes, Vogue. It was Rihanna in the front with one arm reaching back, holding in ASAP Rocky's hand while he's holding their child with his other arm. That's how they want it to be. They need you to be a man when they need you to be a man, but they need you on their terms. They want you to be free. They want you to be a free will person, but they want you under their control. Do you understand how contradictory or paradoxical that is?
I mean, yeah, they're insane. It's just it makes no sense. That's not how
But
real work of how life works.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah.
we have to if we don't work together, I think this society. I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, we all know in real life that that's not how life works. People could
I
come on the
remember.
internet, they could say all these songs, they could show all these movies, but at the end of the day, the way the world is, you need men and women need each other. I mean, I know I'm purple pill up here right now, but it's true. We do. That's how it's
You
supposed
need
to
a
work.
man in your life.
Yeah,
I mean, first
definitely.
of all, let me ask you something. Your daughter's father.
Yeah.
Do you have a good relationship with him? Even though
I
you
mean,
guys
it's
didn't work
cordial.
out.
It's cordial. It's cordial. We
It's
don't
cordial.
fight. Yeah, we don't
You
fight.
but
There's no
but you guys
craziness.
have a very cordial relationship for the
Hmm.
sake of your daughter because you have to raise your daughter.
Right.
Yours daughter, your two's daughter. Because
Right.
she's his daughter just as much as she's yours.
100% correct.
And you cannot deny her father. See, that's
That's
that's the
right.
thing that you did, Kareem. Of course, I'm sure your parents made you enforce that, told you that she needed her father just as much.
Yes.
How many women are willing to not relinquish, but understand that their child needs their father in their life?
They know it. It's just that they're delusional and
Hmm.
they fall into this trap about this like a girl boss thing, or they could do everything on their own, which they know they can't. And they know it's a lie. Come on, you could
Or look at this
eating.
way. Look at this way. Women think they can act like want us to be like elephants. You see how elephants are? A herd of
How are
elephants is led
elephants?
by a matriarch. A herd of elephants comprised of all related females and their
Mm-hmm.
calves, led
Mm-hmm.
by a matriarch who's like the oldest one, the grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
The
So
males live solitary lives.
okay.
Young males, by the time they come of age, they have to leave the herd of their mother, and wander around. And usually, there's
Wow.
going to be a male somewhere out there who's gonna sense their presence and go find him and say, "Hey, young man, come here. What you doing by yourself? Okay, I see. Come on.
That's crazy.
No,
That's how
that's how they're structured. Because elephant bulls. By the way, a male is called a bull, a female is called a cow, and the young are called calves. But a
and you got
bull
to think
elephant.
about it. That male elephant also sells a lot of disputes.
Oh yeah, he calms the young ones down. A lot of the bulls will calm them down. I remember there was a documentary I saw in which there was like a bunch of male elephants. They were gathered around a watering hole,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently, like an old one got into a scuffle with a young one, and the old one dies. And when he
Wow.
died, all the male elephants they gathered around his body, and with their trunks they were touching his tusk, which makes me think. I think those male elephants knew who this elderly male bull was. This was their
Mm-hmm.
mentor, or they all knew this person, this male, this old bull, at some point in their young lives, and he mentored each and every one of them, just like other males would mentor him, and they carry on passing it to each other. Very few males that live to see old age, but or some think they can they can just like think they can raise children collectively like a bunch of lionesses, and men just are like lions. They just come and go. It doesn't work like that.
It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I know that the culture is pushing a lot of these things, and I
Hmm.
know everybody gotta take responsible for for our participation in the culture, but it's
Uh-huh.
just like it's not working. I see so many. I feel so bad for the new generation coming up. It's so sad that they have to deal with this craziness. Like, I mean, I know our generation dealt with it, but we okay, we like whatever. We in our 40s, we good now. But the young
Yeah.
ones that are like, I mean, I know they said these young kids are more like they're red pill and all of this, but still, it's sad that when you're starting out in life, you're not as well, everybody's supposed to be romantic and you romanticize life and stuff. It's like you gotta start out jaded. It's sad. They're so jaded so young, you know?
I
And
remember. Corinne, can I ask you a question? Very personal
mhm.
question. Your parents, are they still together?
Yes, they've been together for, my oldest brother is 52. They've been together for
Your parents.
55 years old. Yeah, my parents are still together.
Okay.
55 years they've been married.
How long?
55 years.
Okay. My parents, I don't know if you heard about what happened. I lost my father last month.
Oh, my condolences. No, I didn't know.
Thank you. Thank you.
My deepest
Well,
condolences.
yeah, he died, last Sunday would have been his 71st. And this November would have been their 42nd anniversary. But the reason I'm asking this question is, yeah, I'm okay with it. I made peace with it. But anyway, I remember when I was young, watching my parents dance together.
Hmm.
You ever seen that? Your parents
I
dancing together?
They have, but I always make a joke with my mom and dad. I call them Archie and Edith Bunker. You ever watch that show, All in the Family?
Oh, all in the family. No. Okay. Wait, you ever listen to Ethiopian music?
No, I haven't. I don't know any
Oh,
Ethiopian. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I know. I know. There's a form of Ethiopian music called tizita,
Hmm.
and the modern version of it, going back to the '60s, they used to slow dance to that
Oh,
because it was
okay.
mostly romantic stuff. Oh, Charles will be back
Oh,
in a minute.
no
So I
problem.
remember watching documentaries about. There was a documentary the BBC had about Ethiopian music.
I'll have to watch one. I'll look it up and watch it because I love things like that.
Yeah, 1989 it was. It was part of an African. It was about African music. So they
Okay.
had this one episode about Ethiopian music. I started working everybody, and they were talking about the four main branches of Amharic music:
Uh-huh.
Anchoya, Tizita, Chikchika, and others. But Tizita, which is
Uh-huh.
mostly like soulful, it's more of a romance. It's more for romance, love.
Uh-huh.
Usually just like slow, easy tempo. I used to watch my parents dance to that.
Beautiful.
And they used to, there's documentary, and in this documentary they showed a woman was singing a song in that form, in that style, and there were people dancing to it. And I'm like, and I've listened to plenty of songs in that style, and
we have
I
Lovers Rock
understand.
Caribbean. We do Lovers
Uh-huh.
Rock, so we don't. It's not. I
Uh-huh.
don't think it's similar to your Ethiopian thing, but it's the Lovers Rock is when the older couples would dance close together and just dancing.
Uh-huh.
So we have that, but not like the way you're describing your music.
Yeah. Slow dance and everything, because it was just like it was like it's based on like modern ball dancing and everything.
Oh. Hey Charles, you're back.
Hey Charles,
I'm
sorry.
back.
The reason, yeah. Hey Charles, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because our generation were exposed to that, to genuine affection, dancing together. When we were young, going to clubs, we were all slow dancing with somebody. This younger generation, we were bumping grinding too, but this generation, I don't know if they even ever had that experience of slow dancing with somebody.
No, I don't think
I remember.
did.
No, I remember. Like, was it? There were plenty of songs like in the '90s, a slow dance and whatnot.
Yeah.
Not songs about being intimate in that way, not sexually. It's like
I have to listen to this Ethiopian. You gave me something to research now. I have to look up this Ethiopian music.
Hang on. I'm gonna look for there's a BBC documentary. I'm gonna put that in the chat. Hang on.
All right, so I have to watch that. That's cool. That's dope.
This is from. I remember my dad had this on tape, and I watched it. It's from 1980, 1989, 1990, and yeah, it was from the BBC.
I'm not gonna stay up here too long with you fellas. Charles, I still want to ask you if you're looking into this guy who's doing Thundercats, the director. I think they said he did Kong versus the Godzilla versus Kong. I think he's the director that's doing Thundercats.
That's going to be interesting. I wonder how they're going to do it. Is it going to be CGI?
I don't know the casting. I'm trying to Google find out who's the casting. Have they cast anybody to play any of these roles?
Not yet that I know of, because man, I need me a Thundercats and a Masters Universe movie stat.
As long as they don't destroy it, as long as they stay true to the material.
Destroy it. As long as they stay true. Don't give me no woke shit. I think
I heard they said the girl from Resident Evil. They said they're gonna make her Chitara. I don't think she's old now. That girl, that white girl.
Yeah, she's old as shit. And I'm like,
I think she'll do it.
I'm like this. One, don't give me that woke shit. I mean, I do like my adventure with Superman, but I hate the fact that they make Lois Lane look like a little boy. And I'm like, it's not that bad. It's pretty good, But the thing that really kills me is that, they try to make the love interest not sexy, because look, if you try to make boys watch stuff, the women have to be attractive. I'm sorry.
Yes, man. Listen, everybody like attractive women. Women like attractive
Absolutely.
women. Men like attractive women. They're on the screen. They need to look good. Why are they casting these ugly looking people to play these roles? I'm sorry, that's just
it's
retarded.
Not reality. It's like saying Lizzo. Have you ever seen Lizzo win the most attractive woman in the world award? You're not gonna see it.
Ooh. No. I'll give you one worse.
Who?
Laverne Cox winning Women of the Year for Times Magazine.
Oh my God!
I'll give you one worse.
They put her.
I'll give you.
Oh, by the way, Kareen, I put a link to the documentary in the chat for you.
Thank you.
I'll give you even worse than that. Like you.
Okay.
What was it? The guy from the Kardashians. Damn, I keep forgetting his fucking name.
Bruce.
Rob Kardashian.
Bruce.
Or you mean Bruce Jenner? Becoming Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner, Woman of the Year.
Oh, Lord.
And the ESPYs, you mean?
Oh gosh, they just doing too
Oh
much. They're
man,
doing too
Marlon
much.
Wayans really roasted that entire family.
Oh, so funny.
That's how you
No,
know.
I was talking about Marlon Wayans. I just saw I'm Gonna Get You Sucker again. That movie. Oh my god, that movie made me laugh every time I watch that movie. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, but he did better in Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood as Loke Dog.
Oh no, there's one scene. There's one scene that keep always so funny to me. When the guy came out of jail and he was a former pimp, and he was wearing that suit, and then he has the fish tank platform shoes.
Oh, you mean the platform shoes with the fish tank in it, made by walking?
I'm sorry.
That just explains
so
how ridiculous and extravagant that's black extravagance going out of control. Sometimes you're like, what is the point of having that? Why you got to be so ridiculous with this shit?
That movie had me every time I watch that movie. I just end up laughing. So this movie is like I think was done in 1989 or 1988, and every time I watch this movie, I'm dying.
No, actually, it's more early '90s because remember this is like around the time Living Color came out.
Oh.
So early '90s. Also, I remember Marlon and Damon. They were in More Money. That was a good movie. But remember, they were great at drag in that one. But they had Stacey Dash before she opened her big mouth.
Yeah, she's still gonna look because it's just that she's mentally ill. But I guess that Hollywood lifestyle really make them go crazy. Because even Halle Berry, look at her story and her life. You know what I mean?
Dave Chappelle said it best. Dave Chappelle talked about, it seems like the environment might be a little sick. People aren't going crazy. It just must be the environment of it. Something's up in there.
They're doing something to these people. I don't know, drugging them up, whatever they do to them, but it seems like nobody could get their life in control. Like she's been married 4 times, and every man she married to, she ended up have to pay alimony and child support to. Like, I mean, I would think she's Halle Berry and she's marrying another like celebrity. You don't think you would have like I know people's like, oh, she's a woman, so she shouldn't pay child support. And I know people's like, yeah, let her pay the child support. But my point is, you don't have enough sense to hire a good lawyer to do a good prenup. What's wrong with you? Like, obviously she doesn't have.
She probably pissed them off, or she thought she knew better, and the lawyers just didn't want to deal with her.
Yeah,
I'm sure they probably asked her, and they said,
you already have child. You already was in a child support battle with your former lover, your former husband, or whatever. I don't know. Did she marry the second guy?
No. Her oldest child, her daughter, is a girl. She had her from a boyfriend at the time named Gabriel
She never married
Oblay.
him, right? She never married that guy?
French Canadian. No, she never made it.
But they never married.
Gabriel Oblay. No, she didn't marry. The mother of her, the father of her daughter, she did not marry him. They just had a child. It didn't work out. He has custody of the child, from what I understand. But she has a son with Olivier Martinez. She married him and then had their son.
Wow.
But they divorced. However, what happened was there was some kind of altercation between the two men. Her daughter's father and her son's father had an altercation at one time.
Yeah, I heard that, and I heard the older guy, which was the Olivia guy, dust out the younger
Olivier
guy.
Martinez.
Like, yeah. Oh, they say he was a boxer. They say he's a trained boxer, so that's why he dust out the other dude, the model dude.
It's kind of funny because when she swore off black men, notice she just messed with white dudes. She's paying $100,000 in child support. God damn! I guess she did make the right.
She ended up with a black man now because her current partner is black. She's with a black man right now, so she went back to black.
Always.
Well, her first two husbands were black. Well, one was mixed.
Yeah,
Dave Justice, he's a former baseball player.
Eric Benet.
Fucked him up. Yeah, Eric Benet was the second one, but Dave Justice, she kind of fucked his shit up because they got divorced in '96. But if you understand how that came about was this. he got served papers
During a fucking
in the dugout.
Wow.
While in the season, he gets served papers while he's in the dugout. Like, what the fuck?
Yo,
But
these
he's over it.
Hollywood
He married
girls.
somebody else and has 3 children, so he's good.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
these females are
okay.
like sick. They're sick. Something's definitely wrong with them. It's just you can't deny it. The evidence, their life is on display for the world, and it's just mistake after mistake after mistake. You mean to tell me, right? Honestly, now I'm getting married again. This is gonna be my 4th marriage or whatever. She married 4 times, right? This is gonna be my 4th marriage, and I know I'm crazy, and I know I have problems with men. You don't think I would have a prenup or make sure I have an ironclad, paperwork signed? You're gonna just...
Would she be coherent in? She's out of her mind. So the question is, would she be sane enough to even think that?
I mean, but she has handlers. Like, these people have to. I'm sure she have people who protect her.
Yeah, but she has the final say at the end of the day. She has the final say, and they're like, some of them be like, you know what, I can't do this, and just walk out. I understand what you're saying, Kareem, but sometimes because she hired them. She's basically they took her on as a client, so the client has the final say in certain things. All they can do is advise her. They can't oversee her advisements unless absolutely necessary.
But the funny thing about her is, right, if you look into her background, she kept all those people around her, like her business, the managers and stuff. She had them in her life almost since her career. So she could keep those long-term, like friendship, long-term business arrangements, but she can't keep her husband. What this lady is... Wow.
Oh, she finally got divorced this year? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Olivia Martinez, that is.
Yeah,
Oh, it got finalized
this year. It's ridiculous from 2015. So that was some type of battle going on then, if it took so long to get a divorce so long. I mean, I know he's rich too. He's wealthy. Isn't he a wealthy guy? The last husband?
Olivia Martinez, yeah, he's an accomplished actor in France and in the US.
So how she end up paying him money for child support? That makes no type of sense to me.
Well, I think because he resides in France, I'm not sure. It's kind of complicated, but oh, okay. Olivier Martinez. He was born in Paris, in France, to a working class. His mother was French. His father was a Spanish boxer.
Mm-hmm.
So he studied acting, but he knew how to defend himself.
Well, my point is, he's been acting for years, for decades, and he don't have money.
He's been acting since 1990, but mostly in Europe. It's only until
they don't pay them?
It wasn't until the 2000s that he started doing English films. So
you've been acting since 1990, and you don't have a. I mean, you should. I know most working actors aren't rich, but you should have at least a good, since you've been acting so long. I mean, I recognize him in a couple movies. I've seen him in a couple movies, so he's done like movies that's known.
Big movies, I know, because well, you don't know sometimes what they're since 2000 he's been doing English films, but the first films he ever the first first decade of his career he was doing mostly French and Spanish films because he's both Spanish and French.
Anyway, I mean, gentlemen,
I get what you're saying. I get what you. Okay.
It's always a pleasure, Kareem.
Thank you for having me. You guys have a wonderful
Enjoy
night.
the documentary as well, and my best to the family.
And I gotta tell the girl, how old is your daughter now?
She's gonna be 13 in 3 weeks. I'm not happy about it.
September when is it? Is it September? September when?
The end of September, she's gonna be 13. I'm not happy about it.
September 30th?
No, the end of September.
The end.
The end. I'm not
The end
giving
of
you the
September.
date.
It's the 30th. It's the 30th.
Yeah, but it's not the 30th. It's the last week of September. Any day. I'm not giving you the date.
Okay.
Oh, okay. No, because I got a sibling who was born at the end of September.
So, on the 30th of September?
Yeah, and this Friday I turned 41. I was born on the 1st. He's the youngest. He was born at the end of September.
Happy birthday when it comes, wow.
Right.
Happy birthday when it comes. 41, what you doing? You got to party. You got to do something.
Always.
Nice
I'm gonna call a home because when you're the oldest, it's never your day. It's your mother's and your father's day because the day you were born was the day they became parents.
Oh.
You understand what I mean?
Okay,
That's why I always say like my parents have their own personal Mother's and Father's Day, and that's my birthday.
Okay.
So
Always,
no.
always a pleasure, Kareem.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna try to get you to make the next BlairCon next year.
All right, I'll try.
Yeah, you know what? You got to get her a personal trainer. You got to get her a
Yes, I
personal
gotta get in
trainer.
shape, yeah, because I need to lose like 30 pounds. Oh my
Don't
god.
worry. Don't worry.
Oh god, I need to lose so much weight.
I'll email you a couple of good workouts.
I gotta start doing this, like what you call a diet.
No. First of all, at your age, what you got to do is not the diets. First of all, you're gonna need to see somebody who can give you some good nutrition advice. Because you got to know your body type. Are you endomorphic, ectomorphic, mesomorphic? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, all I can do is drink fish tea and eat some salad and work out because that's what I'm gonna have to do.
But I'm saying a good nutritionist can help you like work it out because you got to work your metabolism.
I know you're right. I have to eat proper.
Eat proper, work out proper, and plenty of sleep.
That's the case you need motivation. My emails in the back chat.
All right, thank you.
Anybody
enjoy the documentary as well. You're gonna love some of that music. I'm sure you're gonna love some of it.
Any last words, anybody?
Just that I just want to say y'all ain't shit, and God bless y'all for it, and y'all have a blessed week. And Friday, I'm just gonna be chilling. I'll see y'all later.
Enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Woo, and we out.